In order to cover the array of experience of your body's physiology, recovering from intensity, you have to have a cascade of protocols. Those protocols have to be science-based and then hopefully, eventually evidence-based. So there are a set number of protocols that have been established that are effective at creating the most amount of positive adaptation with the least amount of negative adaptation. The main model for TACFIT 26 was to take 6 protocols and create this cascade so that you can have repeating skills of movement complexity occurring across all 6 of the primary protocols. And the goal is to take the recovery and tease it, where you're compressing the recovery and pulling out the recovery. And at the same time, do the polar opposite. So as you compress and tease the recovery, you're also doing the same thing between strength and endurance. You're taking the volume and you're increasing it while decreasing the intensity, and you're taking the intensity and you're increasing it while decreasing the volume. By having that wave, you avoid the body plateauing, because if you do something repeatedly, eventually the body finds a wall, because the same type of performance no longer will create more adaptation. To avoid that wall, you have to perform your training like a sailboat, tacking right and left in order to go forward. So the 6 primary protocols start with a Tabata protocol, 20 seconds of work with 10 seconds of recovery 8 times on a particular exercise. So there's this burst with a rapid recovery and another burst of exercise. Between exercises, there's a 60-second break, so you have a full reset so that you can move on to the next exercise. But the primary focus of the Tabata protocol is 20 seconds of work with very quick recovery, only 10 seconds. So the active recovery protocols are very tight and efficient. It's a set time protocol. When you move to the next protocol, you're actually swinging the pendulum on the other direction. You're moving from left to right on tacking that sailboat. On the 4-1, 4 minutes of activity with a 1-minute break, that's a long haul. That endurance that's involved there will help tease out the body's adaptation to burst, recover, burst, so that you don't become specialized, so that you don't maladapt to a particular energy system in your body. So now you have to find the right pace for yourself, and you have a minute to recover from all of the repetition of a singular movement over and over again. That time under tension is significant. Moving back, the pendulum swings back the other direction. When you move into the E-modem, each minute on the minute, how fast you recover within 1 minute determines your readiness for the next minute. So if you have a set number of skills and reps that you have to perform in that minute, the faster that you perform them, the more time that you get to recover. The more time that you get to recover, the readier you are for the next round. So you're taking the wisdom of the 20-10, 10 seconds of recovery, and you're applying that to a longer duration than a 20-second workout. Now we're talking around 40 seconds in each minute on the minute. With E-modem, you've been doing a circuit over and over and over again, but within a minute. Now let's go and let's swing the opposite direction into an AMRAP again. Now with the AMRAP, as many rounds as possible, now it's uncontrolled timing. You're going to perform a circuit over and over again. How many circuits you perform in that set time is going to determine your total volume. So it's closer to the 4-1. And the recovery then is only between the exercises. It's continuous performance of those movements that are selected. AMRAP then moves back to the balance between all of the timed protocols. 90 seconds of work is a long time. Not as long as 4 minutes, so it's closer to the 4-1 energy system, but it has 30 seconds of recovery. So now you have the chance to take your compressed recovery skills, apply them within a slightly larger amount of time to address the slightly larger amount of work. And then lastly, the test. As fast as possible, complete these repetitions with these weights and these movements selected. So AFAP-T, as fast as possible with technique, is the last protocol, because this demonstrates what have you learned from that entire cascade of protocols. How fast can you recover between repetitions, within the repetition, and between exercises? How do you organize your protocol? How do you create your strategy to accomplish the total volume, the requirement for that workout as fast as possible, complete all of this work with good technique, so that you can have good technique and successfully improve over time, decreasing the total time that's required. That cascade is critical to all of the tools that are used in the TACFIT system. But when approaching a new tool, it's helpful to have a very standard, very easy to understand protocol so that you're not both learning a new piece of equipment with new exercises and a new protocol at the same time. The 30-30 protocol, 30 seconds of work with 30 seconds of rest, allows you a good balance of doing work with a sufficient amount of active recovery so that you can not address changes in protocol and just focus on the new selection of skills and the new tool and how you interact with it.